Football is a game that defines heroes, legends, and moments that transcend time, but it is also a game of heartbreak, missed opportunities, and dreams that can sometimes remain just out of reach. And no story captures this duality more than the story of Cristiano Ronaldo, a boy from the small Portuguese island of Madeira who grew up with nothing but ambition, relentless work ethic, and an unquenchable desire to be the best the world had ever seen. Because from the moment he first kicked a ball in the streets, he knew that greatness was not given, it was earned through blood, sweat, pain, and sacrifice. And he spent his entire life chasing perfection, a journey that took him from Sporting Lisbon to Manchester United, where at just 18 years old he was thrust onto the biggest stage in England, facing defenders twice his age, pressure from media, and the expectations of a club with history. Yet he thrived, showing flashes of speed, skill, and an uncanny ability to score goals that seemed impossible. And under Sir Alex Ferguson, he transformed into a player who not only dazzled with flair and creativity, but learned the art of winning, lifting multiple Premier League titles, the FA Cup, League Cups, and most importantly, the Champions League, becoming a global superstar in the process. And as his club career skyrocketed, so did his international career, as he became the face of Portuguese football, wearing the captain's armband with pride, but also carrying a heavy burden, because Portugal had never won a World Cup, and the weight of a nation's expectations rested on his shoulders. And in 2006, at just 21 years old, Ronaldo made his World Cup debut in Germany. And while he showed glimpses of brilliance, scoring important goals and displaying unmatched energy, Portugal fell to France in the semi-finals, a moment that left the young superstar heartbroken, yet determined, because he knew that this was just the beginning of a journey that would define him as a player. And in 2010, Ronaldo returned to South Africa as the captain of a team that many expected him to carry to glory. But the tournament proved challenging, as Portugal lacked balance and creativity. And despite his relentless effort, including scoring stunning goals, delivering precise assists, and constantly leading by example on the pitch, Portugal was eliminated in the round of 16 by Spain, the eventual champions. And Ronaldo walked off the field amidst criticism, but also applause from those who understood that no single player could win a World Cup alone. And instead of letting defeat define him, he used it as fuel, pushing himself harder, transforming his physique, improving his technique, and preparing for the next generation of tournaments. And by 2014, in Brazil, he arrived at the World Cup in peak form, a Ballon d'Or winner, a Champions League legend, and one of the most complete footballers the world had ever seen. But fate was cruel, as a knee injury hampered his performances, limiting him in crucial matches, and Portugal once again lacked the squad depth to compete against the giants of the game, ultimately exiting in the group stage. And the images of Ronaldo walking off the field, exhausted and frustrated, became iconic symbols of perseverance and heartbreak. Yet through it all, he remained the ultimate professional, never complaining, always motivating his teammates, and demonstrating leadership that few could match. And while the World Cup eluded him, he achieved glory elsewhere, most notably at Euro 2016, where despite being injured in the final against France, he refused to let his team lose belief, shouting instructions from the sidelines, motivating his teammates, and leading Portugal to their first ever major international trophy. And that victory, while not a World Cup, showed the world exactly why he deserved football's highest honor, because he combined skill, determination, sacrifice, and leadership in ways that few athletes ever have. And yet, critics continued to focus on what he didn't have, not what he did. And so the story continued, as in 2018 in Russia, Ronaldo delivered one of the most memorable World Cup performances in history, scoring a hat-trick against Spain, including a last-minute free kick that stunned fans around the globe. A moment that reminded the world that he thrived under pressure, that he could rise to any occasion. But once again, Portugal was eliminated, this time by Uruguay in the round of 16, leaving Ronaldo devastated, yet unbroken, because even in defeat, he inspired millions with his professionalism, dedication, and brilliance. And as the years passed, Ronaldo continued to break records, becoming the all-time leading scorer for Portugal, winning numerous Ballon d'Ors, Champions League titles, and domestic trophies across England, Spain, and Italy. But the World Cup remained the elusive prize, a dream that refused to be fulfilled despite his extraordinary talent and unwavering dedication. And in 2022, at the age of 37, Ronaldo returned to Qatar, older, wiser, and still hungry for glory. But once again, heartbreak struck as Portugal fell to Morocco in the quarterfinals, and the sight of Ronaldo walking off the pitch in tears captured the hearts of football fans worldwide. Not because he failed, but because the world witnessed a man who had given everything, sacrificed everything, and inspired generations, yet was denied the ultimate reward in the sport he loved. And when we examine his international career as a whole, with over 120 goals, countless match-winning performances, and leadership across multiple generations of Portuguese squads, it becomes clear that Ronaldo's greatness is not measured solely by trophies, but by his relentless pursuit of excellence, the way he carried a nation, turned pressure into fuel, criticism into motivation, and setbacks into comebacks. Because winning a World Cup is not just about skill, it is about timing, teamwork, and sometimes luck. And Ronaldo had all the skill, the heart, and the dedication, but circumstances and fate were not always on his side. And yet, even without a World Cup trophy in his hands, Ronaldo's story is one of inspiration, teaching the world that greatness is not defined by a single achievement, but by the effort, resilience, passion, and sacrifices that a person makes to chase a dream relentlessly. And as future generations look back, they will see not just a footballer, but a legend, a man who redefined what it means to be committed, a man who never stopped believing, never stopped working, never stopped pushing the boundaries of what is possible in football. And that is why Cristiano Ronaldo deserved a World Cup, because he embodied everything the tournament represents: hope, ambition, courage, determination, and the unwavering belief that even the impossible is worth chasing. And his legacy will live on forever, not because of the trophies he won, but because of the journey he took, the battles he fought, the records he shattered, the hearts he inspired, and the dream he chased with every ounce of his being. A dream that reminds us all that greatness is not about winning. It is about daring to dream, daring to sacrifice, and daring to be remembered as one of the greatest to ever step on the field. And in the world of football, there has never been anyone more deserving than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo's story does not end with missed opportunities, heartbreak, or the cruel absence of a World Cup trophy, because the essence of his greatness lies not in what he failed to achieve, but in how he faced every challenge, how he adapted to every obstacle, how he carried a nation and inspired millions while redefining what it means to be a football legend. And to understand why he deserved a World Cup, we must look deeper at the context of his career, the teams around him, the rivals he faced, and the moments when victory was tantalizingly close yet heartbreakingly distant. Because every legend's journey is shaped not only by personal skill, but also by the environment, the timing, the teammates, the tactical setup, and the sheer unpredictability of football. And Ronaldo's Portugal squads, while containing immense talent, often lacked the balance, creativity, and depth that historically lead to World Cup glory. And yet, in every tournament, he transformed potential into performance, lifting the team with his energy, determination, and sheer willpower. Because Ronaldo is not a player who waits for opportunity, he creates it. Whether it was his early days at Manchester United, learning under Sir Alex Ferguson, adopting discipline and professionalism that molded him into a modern athlete, or his years at Real Madrid, where he redefined goal scoring, breaking records once thought untouchable, or his time at Juventus, where he proved he could dominate in different leagues and styles. And all of these experiences shaped a player capable of lifting a nation. But the World Cup is unlike any other competition because it demands cohesion, luck, timing, and often a perfect alignment of stars. And here is where Ronaldo's story becomes more about resilience than results, because from 2006 to 2022, he faced incredible opponents: France, Spain, Germany, Uruguay, Morocco, and even emerging powers, while leading Portugal, a nation with immense pride but less squad depth than the traditional football giants. And yet, through every challenge, Ronaldo never wavered, scoring crucial goals, delivering stunning performances, and motivating teammates who often lacked experience. And even in matches where Portugal fell short, his presence elevated everyone, creating moments of magic and hope. And as we imagine a world where circumstances aligned differently, where Portugal had a deeper midfield, a more creative attacking unit, or fewer injuries, it becomes clear how Ronaldo could have lifted that elusive World Cup, because the talent, leadership, and mentality were always there. His vision, pace, aerial ability, finishing, and free kick mastery capable of turning games single-handedly, and he demonstrated this repeatedly, from the hat-trick against Spain in 2018 to crucial qualifiers to dramatic Euro campaigns, proving that when Ronaldo is on the pitch, he carries not just skill, but belief, hope, and determination. And when we compare him to other football legends, from Pelé to Maradona to Messi, we realize that Ronaldo's pursuit of the World Cup was different, because he combined athletic perfection, mental strength, adaptability, and an insatiable hunger that few could match. And while Messi enjoyed a golden generation in Argentina, Maradona a miraculous team in 1986, Ronaldo often faced a constant battle of leading by example, carrying his nation through moments when talent alone could not suffice. And yet he never gave up, never accepted defeat prematurely, and continued to set standards for professionalism, longevity, and consistency that redefined football greatness. And beyond the pitch, Ronaldo's work ethic, his daily sacrifices, his constant drive to improve, and his dedication to family, fans, and football itself showcase why he is more than a player. He is a symbol of perseverance, a beacon for aspiring athletes, and a testament to human potential. And as we analyze potential World Cup winning scenarios, we can see moments where Ronaldo's leadership could have changed outcomes. The 2006 semi-final against France might have gone differently with fewer injuries and more midfield support. The 2010 clash with Spain could have seen him lift Portugal past the defending champions with additional tactical adjustments and creative freedom. The 2014 disappointment in Brazil could have been avoided with an injury-free squad. The 2018 performance against Spain demonstrated that when he is firing, he can alter the trajectory of any match. And in 2022, even as an aging superstar, he showed flashes of brilliance that reminded the world he is capable of miracles. And it is in these what-ifs that his greatness becomes even more apparent, because greatness is not measured only in trophies, but in the ability to consistently challenge limits, to inspire, and to dominate under pressure. And Ronaldo did this like few others, creating unforgettable moments, historic goals, and legendary performances that fans will remember long after results are forgotten. And when we examine his relationship with teammates, we see a captain who motivates, critiques constructively, leads by example, and inspires belief, a man who can carry younger players, correct course in matches, and provide a model of professionalism that elevates everyone around him. And this is why, even without a World Cup, Ronaldo's story is extraordinary, because he fought not only the opposition, but also the weight of history, expectation, and time itself. And if we imagine a World Cup where Portugal had the perfect alignment of talent, fitness, strategy, and luck, it is undeniable that Ronaldo, with his unmatched goal-scoring ability, leadership, and determination, would have been the guiding force lifting the trophy high above his head, because he embodies everything a World Cup champion should be: skill, intelligence, resilience, vision, and the unyielding heart of a winner. And even in tournaments where glory eluded him, Ronaldo left an indelible mark on the world, shattering records, redefining athleticism, and showing future generations what it means to be relentless, disciplined, and passionate. And while critics focus on the absence of a World Cup, true football fans recognize that Ronaldo's pursuit of this ultimate prize, his unwavering commitment to excellence, his inspiring leadership, his incredible performances, and his ability to carry a nation through triumphs and disappointments, proves that deserving is not always defined by possession, but by effort, dedication, passion, and heart, and that is why Ronaldo will forever be remembered not only as one of the greatest footballers of all time, but as a player who deserved, more than almost anyone, to lift the World Cup, because his story is the ultimate testament to human will, the power of belief, and the relentless pursuit of dreams, a journey filled with heartbreak, triumph, courage, and inspiration. And even as the world debates the absence of the trophy, the reality is that Ronaldo's legacy is immortal, his impact on football unmatched, and his pursuit of the World Cup remains one of the most compelling, emotional, and inspiring stories in the history of sports, reminding us all that true greatness is measured not just in victories, but in the courage to chase the impossible, to inspire millions, and to leave a mark that time can never erase. And in the eyes of every young player, every fan who ever dreamed of glory, and every football historian, Ronaldo is not defined by what he lacked, but by the monumental heights he achieved, the records he shattered, the moments he created, the goals that made the world stop, and the heart he poured into the game every single day.